Welcome to 40k memes. What's on the docket today, Manuel?
So you go first.
What do you mean, who goes first?
Well, who goes first?
There is no first. Yeah. We get it, and that's it.
Oh, baby, this is a bad idea, isn't it? Discussing female space marines is a time-honored topic for anyone looking to pursue a new career as a punching bag. Pick any hot-button topic on the world stage, I guarantee that none will spark an argument quite so hateful or dogmatic as considering if our big space men could also be big space women. Pick either side of the discussion and both ways you're wrong. So this is a horrible idea, but I've never known a YouTube channel that was built on good ideas, so here we go. Now, for those of you that don't know, have forgotten, or tune in and out while you put me on the second screen, I will briefly discuss the process of making an Adeptus Astartes. Step 1, baby. Step 2, child. Step 3, child abduction. Which sounds bad, but don't worry, they're not just throwing the black bag over a bunch of 8-year-olds. At least not most of the time. It is more selective. It has to be. Because no one wants to give demigod powers to 9-year-old Timmy McImbecile, who nearly drowned on his own spit that one time. And each chapter will have things that they seek out, preferring a love for sneaking, machinery, compassion, or tactical logistics management. They see something they like, they bring it in. I mean, sometimes they may ask nicely, but these are the Emperor's angels of death. People are going to say yes either out of reverence for the Emperor or reverence for their own life. Because even if the Space Marines accept your decisions, word can still spread, the Inquisition catches on, so they swing by and ask, "Hey, why didn't you want your child serving the Emperor, you f***ing weenie?" So they come asking for your son, and you hand him over. This could also go a long way to explain why certain Space Marines can be so up themselves. Considering that for the first 100 years of their immortality, they are emotionally paused at the age of 12, and some never grow out of that. But that's a totally different topic all on its own. Anyway, the Space Marines come by to kidnap some boys, but only the boys. They don't want the girls. And why? It's a good question. As Fabius Bile, a man whose entire character can be explained in this one image, said, "It's the women that do the hunting in most predator groups. Surely we could have used some power armor Amazons bolstering our ranks." And he's right. So why didn't the Big E and his posse of geneticists want to include women in their new group of super soldiers? Well, the first and most obvious answer is that girls are icky. They got the cooties, they got the Barbies, they got all manner of kindergarten playground diseases that you don't even want to know about. So we can't have them in here with all our big power armor men flexing and killing and flexing while they're killing. The Emperor had foresight. He knew that if he let in the girls, they'd try to paint all the power armor pink. And you know what happened the last time someone painted the power armor pink? They were called the Emperor's children, and they went bad. Oh, they went really bad. You don't even want to know. So to prevent that from happening, again, the Emperor cut off the ladies from ever joining the Great Crusade Treehouse Club. Now, of course, that is a fantastic reason all on its own, and could fill an entire doctoral thesis. But there are two more arguments I've heard that could fill in any gaps in logic. And I want to make it clear, these are headcanon reasons. Just people thinking about reasons. 'Cause God knows GW will never give us a straight answer. The first one may be a little odd, but it's valid, even if it will still sound a little weird the first time you hear it. The Emperor wanted to prevent breeding. Nope, jokes are over, this is me being serious. The Big E didn't want a new species to supplant us. You see, for all the Emperor's faults, he wanted to save humanity. I want to underline that. Humanity. Not to save some humans but not others, definitely not to make space for better humans to replace us. Nope, humans of all shapes, sizes, and colors. The problems were that a bunch of scary monsters in the universe were looking to unseat humanity, so we needed some big scary monsters of our own. But they were only ever meant to be temporary, these living weapons that could calmly pass into history during peacetime, which would be nigh impossible if they could self-replicate. So the Big E made them impotent, first of all, but life is tenacious and, quote, finds a way. It takes a lot to put down a space marine. Nothing to say that one of their two hearts couldn't find a way to repair the pipeline leading blood to the downstairs regions. So, as a way to double bag it, the Emperor kept women out of the ranks, thus ensuring that Space Marines would forever need basic, normal humans like us. Valid reason, though there could be one more. It is rarely mentioned, but nevertheless true, the whole process of making a Space Marine is held together by duct tape and crossed fingers. Once the guys are put together, they're solid as a mountain, but the process of taking them from normal to demigod is a bit rough. Actually, it's very rough. It's 13 different implants across who knows how many surgeries. And the whole process doesn't even work unless you've got something called the gene seed, which only comes from one place, a Primarch. And currently there are only 2 of them left. Well, technically there are 6, but those other 4 have had some aftermarket modifications, so I wouldn't bet on them. It took the Big E and something like 6 of the most brilliant minds of that generation to get the project to the prototype phase. Fabius Bile, this guy I mentioned before, is perhaps the most brilliant geneticist to ever live. He's been trying to replicate the project for the last 10,000 years, but only made it about a fifth of the way. Belisarius Cawl was only ever able to make improvements to them because GW wanted to release a new product line. Space Marines are neat and very difficult to make. So with all that in mind, it is completely within the realm of possibility that maybe it just does not work on girls. Something about the process needs a Y chromosome, and that's all there is to it. Wouldn't be the first time someone's gotten a project mostly working and then stepped back with hands held up for fear that fixing one issue might cause 3 others. Just saying, maybe it flat does not work. Or there's always secret option number 4. It does work on girls, it always has, many women have been brought into the Adeptus Astartes, but we could never tell the difference because the process changes the human body so radically, fills them with so much machismo, that they end up looking like dudes. You know, pretty much exactly like the supermutants in Fallout. They are about the same size after all, but the Space Marines have better gear, more brains, more hair, and get to keep their original skin color. Well, most of the time anyway. And now that I've fully explained this topic for better and worse, I'd like to break character for a moment here. No more jokes or explanations, just direct talk. If you unironically care about female Space Marines, you're an idiot. Now, I'm not bashing anyone who's made it this far in the video. We've had some laughs, a chance to think. You're not who I'm talking to right now. Neither am I talking to the people who draw female Space Marines. They're having a bit of fun too. Rather, I'm talking to the people who say, "Rah rah rah, we need female Space Marines." Or, "Boo boo hoo, they're gonna ruin Space Marines by adding women." If you're one of those 2 people, you're a dumbass. In the grand scheme of things, female Space Marines have never mattered and will never matter. You want to know how I know? Because this is what a male Space Marine looks like, and this is what a female Space Marine would look like. They spend most of their lives under 12 tons of armor. You will never be able to tell the difference. And it won't matter on the tabletop, as we saw when this exact thing happened to the Custodes. Did GW release a new women's-only unit? No, they didn't. And I don't want people from either camp, for or against, saying that it's the principle of the thing. Warhammer lore changes more often than US presidents. It happens, it sucks, but we deal. Sometimes changes can be for the better, sometimes they can be for the worse. Now, I don't want to be the guy who says, you shouldn't be mad about this thing, you should really be mad about this thing, but what I want doesn't really matter, and picking your battles is a very real thing. So, if you'd like something new to get mad about, how about the fact that the Votann have existed for the better part of 2 years, and if you doubled the number of models in their army, they still would not be as big as the next smallest faction. That next smallest faction, of course, being the Drukhari, a faction that's been out since 3rd edition, and yet you could still fit their entire model offering on an index card. And you could even skip lines if you want to leave out the models you can't fucking buy. You want something more human-oriented? Okay. The Krieg and Cadian do pretty well in the Imperial Guard, meanwhile the Catachan have been dying a slow death. Their models haven't been refreshed since before I was born. And yet in the new Imperial Guard Codex, 2 of their 3 unique characters gone. Just gone. I would actually like to play Catachan if GW weren't doing everything possible to murder them behind the scenes. You want one more? I can do that. The Death Guard have some pretty stylish and unique units. The Thousand Sons have some specialty troops for them as well. But I like the World Eaters, and our totally unique one-of-a-kind army includes some Terminator surrogates and that's it. Everything else is generic chaos, and has been since the range was released. I would hope that this will change as the Codex is on the horizon, but my copium tanks are running a little low of late, you know? But please, continue to whine or scream that someday some Space Marines may have an innie instead of an outie. I sincerely hope that I have pissed off both the advocates and the opponents of this topic. That is, after all, part of the reason I continue to use the female Primarchs at every opportunity. The other part is because they're hot. But one more time, for my own fun, and to really make the point, if you actually care about this, you're a short-sighted dimwit whose greatest service to humanity will be the day you walk in front of a moving bus. God, I hope no one sees this as my first video.